Our budget working group, which consisted of the police chief, the fire chief, the library director, the finance director, the assistant city manager, myself, and the public services director, worked really hard on putting together, over the past few months, a fiscally responsible budget that prioritizes long-term investment in Rockland. We strive to retain levels of service for our residents while also putting a financial framework in place to address major improvements required for our roads, sidewalks, and other infrastructure and community facilities, such as the library and public open spaces. We've been strategic, deliberate, and far-sighted in our efforts to prepare this budget. The budget's not exclusively a collection of costs that only consider our needs for this year. It's both the beginning of a long-term strategy for improving facilities and infrastructure over time without unduly burdening taxpayers and an opportunity to present changes in policy and programs. Information needed to debate and consider changes is clearly provided. The budget will no longer be a number, but will be a statement of policy and direction. We want the budget deliberation process to focus on discussing the costs of Rockland government services and their public value, as well as how to make key investments in the community. In previous years, the budget deliberation process drifted from the cost and value of Rockland services and importance of investing in our community to create short-term tax relief. While tax relief is important, the methods we use to provide short-term tax relief have long-term consequences that impact the sustainability of our government services and our infrastructure and our community's ability to thrive. This budget plan, as presented, illustrates a path to a 2.54% net increase from last year, but that doesn't tell the complete story. We have reduced expenses by over 7%, while revenues have continued to decrease by over 16%, and taxable value continues to be projected at 0% growth. These realities are challenging but not unpredictable or outside of the city's trends. The city has continually reduced expenses annually, but other variables influence the net impact on the tax rate, including loss of state revenue sharing, increased education costs, and economic factors impacting taxable value growth. The expenses in the 2017 budget plan are lower than 3 years ago. Yet the slow growth of taxable value over the past years have made it impossible to retain current levels of service delivery and make key improvements to our infrastructure and facilities without impacting the tax rate. With a growth rate lagging behind the cost of maintaining existing levels of service, it's understandable that the taxpayers in Rockland are feeling burdened. This is an uncomfortable situation for Rockland. During the period of 1995 to 2005, we enjoyed an annual growth rate of 14%. Much of this was due to the large-scale private sector investment in Rockland. As a community, we benefited from this growth, and we're able to invest in infrastructure and facilities while maintaining our levels of service. However, growth in Rockland has been slow over the last decade. In the face of this slow growth, we've had to make difficult choices. We choose not to budget for expenses like the creation of the stormwater maintenance and inspection department and positions such as the fire chief and police officers. However, not budgeting for these expenses does not mean that we have not had to pay for them. We also made the choice to defer upkeep and maintenance of many roads, below-grade infrastructure, and community facilities. We also deferred investment in infrastructure that is important to the future growth and sustainability of Rockland. We can begin a long-term process of solving the issues with unfunded expenses in our infrastructure and facilities while investing in Rockland's future. This budget is inundated with strategy, vision, and plan. The change in budget presentation should make the true cost of capital improvement and provided Rockland government services more transparent. Presenting the cost of local service in a more transparent way will allow the City Council to engage the public in practical discussions about service levels and capital investment. The budget is also constructed in a way that the city can build on in future years. This budget document is crafted to be developed further. The budget framework allows for forecasting, tracking, and project budgeting. This budget takes the first steps in aligning the vision of city services and investment in infrastructure with the overarching goals of the Rockland citizen. We're not proposing to solve all of the government budget dilemmas. We will not fix every road, sewer line, or community facility this year. However, we're coming to you with a framework for how we can begin to address the major challenges we have in front of us. These challenges include budgeting for all of our expenses, repairing and rebuilding miles of road and below-grade infrastructure, making major repairs to beloved community facilities such as the library, and investing in new facilities and infrastructure to facilitate sustainable growth and development. We all want to change Rockland for the better, but making change is difficult. It takes a lot of hard work and tough decision making. Through this budget, we have the opportunity to begin demonstrating our commitment to fiscal responsibility while also investing in services, programs, infrastructure, and facilities that will make Rockland a sustainable and vibrant community. At this current time, we've sent out a press release, and in that press release, we expressed a lot of these same sentiments that were presented to the City Council with a link to our city website, which is currently our still existing city website, and we'll make a transition in the near future. With that link, the City of Rockland citizens, the City Council, and anybody that's interested in the budget development in the City of Rockland could follow along. The entire city budget is in a very readable format on the city website right now. The City Council can choose to use that method or another digital method, or we can stay with the traditional, the binder that we've had in the past. The idea is that people can follow along with the budget, they can pay attention to the changes that are happening in the city, and they can participate. We've put together a baseline for city services that sustains all of our staffing, our library staffing, our police staffing, our fire department staffing, in a way that we've traditionally provided those services. We can maintain those at that level, provide this baseline, and then try to figure ways to promote development for the future of the City of Rockland. And everybody can follow along to have a very comprehensive policy discussion. Madam Mayor, City Council, I respectfully submit the 2017 budget.